Hello, I'm Kevin Hayes, the Story Man, and this is the Nightly Bedtime Story Podcast, where you can have a bedtime story every night. Tonight's bedtime story is Little Red Riding Hood, written by Charles Perrault. I hope you like it. Little Red Riding Hood. Once upon a time, at the edge of a big forest, there was a tiny cottage. In it, there lived a little girl with her mother, who was so sweet and pretty and good that everybody loved her. Her grandmother, who was very fond of her, made her a little red cape and hood. Because she always wore them, she was called Little Red Riding Hood. One day, Little Red Riding Hood's mother told her to take a basket with some butter and eggs and fresh-baked cake to her grandmother, who was ill. The little girl, who always loved seeing her grandmother, ran at once to fetch her red cape, and, taking her basket, set out on her journey. On her way, she met a wolf, who wished very much to eat her up, but who dared not to do so, because some woodcutters were working close by. So he only said, "Good morning, Little Red Riding Hood. Where are you off to so early?" Little Red Riding Hood, who did not know how dangerous it was to talk to a wolf, replied, "I am going to see my grandmother, who is ill in bed, to take her some butter and eggs and a fresh-baked cake that my mother has made for her." "Where does your grandmother live?" asked the wolf. "In the little white cottage at the other side of the forest," answered Red Riding Hood. "Well," said the wolf, "I am going that way too. If you will let me, I will walk part of the way with you." So Little Red Riding Hood, who suspected no harm, set off with the wolf down the path to her grandmother's house. Presently, Red Riding Hood stopped to gather a bouquet of wildflowers for her grandmother, and the wolf, who had thought of a plan to get the little girl for his dinner, said, "Good morning," and trotted away. As soon as he was out of sight, he began to run as fast as he could. In a short time he reached the grandmother's cottage and knocked at the door. "Who is there?" asked the grandmother, as she lay in bed. "It is Little Red Riding Hood," answered the wolf. "I have brought you some butter and eggs and a fresh-baked cake which Mother has made for you." "Come in, my dear," said the grandmother. "The door is unlocked." The wolf opened the door and sprang upon the poor grandmother, and ate her all up. Then he put on her nightcap and got into bed, and lay down to wait for Red Riding Hood. Very soon there came a little soft tap at the door. "Who is there?" called out the wolf. "It is Little Red Riding Hood, grandmother dear. I have brought you some butter and eggs, and a fresh-baked cake which Mother has made for you." Then the wolf called out, disguising his voice as much as he could. "Come in, my dear," called the wolf. "I am in bed, but the door is unlocked." Little Red Riding Hood opened the door and went inside. "Good morning, dear grandmother," she said. "How are you feeling today?" "Very bad indeed, my dear," answered the wolf, trying to hide himself under the bedclothes. "How strange and hoarse your voice sounds, grandmother," said Little Red Riding Hood. "I have got a bad cold, my dear," said the wicked wolf. "Grandmother, what big eyes you have!" exclaimed Red Riding Hood, surprised to see how strange her grandmother looked in her nightclothes. "The better to see you with, my dear," said the wolf. "Grandmother, what big ears you have!" "The better to hear you with, my child." "Grandmother, what very long arms you have!" "The better to hug you with, my dear." "But, grandmother, what great big teeth you have!" said Red Riding Hood, who was beginning to get frightened. "The better to eat you with," roared the wolf, suddenly jumping out of bed. He grabbed hold of poor Little Red Riding Hood and was just about to eat her up when there was a great noise outside, and the door burst open, and in rushed the woodcutters, who had seen the wolf talking to the little girl in the forest, and came to see what mischief he was up to. They killed the wicked wolf, and so Little Red Riding Hood was saved, and ran home to tell her mother all about her terrible adventure. The end. I hope you liked tonight's bedtime story, Little Red Riding Hood, written by Charles Perrault. Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast so you can listen to a free bedtime story every night. I'm Kevin Hayes, the Story Man. I'll be here tomorrow night to read you another bedtime story. But for tonight, good night.